I just keep trusting my Lord as I walk along. I just keep trusting my Lord, and He gives a song. Though the storm clouds darken the sky, or on the heavenly trail, I just keep trusting my Lord. He will never fail. He's a faithful friend, such a faithful friend. I can count on Him to the very end. Though the storm clouds darken the sky, or on the heavenly trail, I'll just keep trusting my Lord. He will never fail. Our Bible lesson today is about a man who trusts the Lord. He has to trust the Lord when the trials come, and he gets lots of trials. When this song talked about when the storm clouds darken the sky, that's talking about a trial. None of us like problems or trials, do we? But we need to learn to do like Job did. Job, his name is in the Bible. The book of Job is right before the book of Psalms. And we learn so much from this man because he loves God. He loves God more than anything else. And the Bible says he was perfect and upright. And he feared God. And he eschewed evil. Eschewed evil? What does that mean? I looked up eschewed. It meant deliberately avoid. So he stayed away from evil. He decided to stay away from evil. That's a good plan. I think we should all do that. If we know something's not going to be good, we should get away from it. When sinners entice thee, don't give in, say no, say no. When sinners entice thee, don't give in, say no, no, no. Say no to your friends who want you to sin. Say no to the devil who wants to win. When sinners entice thee, don't give in. Say no, no, no. And that's who Job is like. Job said no to evil. He wanted to live for God. Well, the Bible also tells us that Job was very rich. And he and his wife had 10 children. They had 7 sons and 3 daughters. And Job prayed for his children every day. And Job had many servants and many animals. He had 7,000 sheep. Now, I can't get a flannel graph that has 7,000 sheep. But you'll take a picture. You can imagine with me, right? And he had 3,000 camels. That's a lot of camels, huh? And the men had to take care of them, the servants. And he had 500 yoke of oxen. Okay? And he had 500 donkeys. I got 2 donkeys across the street from my house. Well, Job was rich. You know, there's a spiritual battle going on all the time, especially for around us Christians. And Job had that battle going on. The Bible says in the book of Job, now there was a day when the angels, or the sons of God, it says, it is the angels, came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them. Where did Satan come from? Did you know he was an angel of God? He was one of the top 3 angels of God, like Gabriel and Michael. And Lucifer was the musical angel. And he became proud. And the book of Isaiah has 5 times where Lucifer says, I will, I will, I will. And the last one was the worst. I will be like the Most High. He wanted to be equal with God. And God removed him from heaven, and the Bible says 1/3 of the angels went with him. And that's now the demons. And that's God's enemy now, and it's our enemy too. You know, he tries to stop us from believing in the Lord. And then he tries to stop us, if we do get saved and believe in the Lord, he tries to stop us from living for the Lord. He wants us to quit. He's called the accuser of the brethren, and that's what Satan does with Job. God said, where have you been, Satan? And he said, I've been going to and fro in the earth. See, he's been watching us. And God said, have you seen my servant Job? He's such a good man. He fears me, and he turns away from evil. He does right, and he loves me. And Satan said, he's only good because he's rich. You give him so much, that's why he loves you. Let me take away his riches, and then he will curse you. God didn't believe that Job would ever curse him. So he told Satan, you can take away his riches, but you must not hurt Job. Well, that's the conversation that went on, the spiritual battle. Well, one day, not long after that, a servant came running up to Job. And the servant was all out of breath, and he looked scared, and Job knew something bad had happened. And the servant said, the Sabaeans came, and they attacked your servants, and they killed them, and they stole all your donkeys down here. Yeah, and all your oxen. And they killed the servants, and I only am left. Wow. And he's all out of breath and standing there. And while he's not even done speaking, while he was yet speaking, the Bible says, another servant came running up. And he says, fire fell from heaven. And it struck the sheep. And all your sheep burned up. And the servants with them. And I only am left to come and tell you about it. And while he was yet speaking, another servant came running up to Job. And he said, the Chaldeans came, and there were 3 groups of them, and they took all your camels, and they killed all your servants. And I only am left to come and tell you. And while he was still speaking, this is all happening, boom, 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 another servant ran up to Job, and he said, all of your children were in your oldest son's house, and they were having a party, and a great wind came, and it tore at the 4 corners of the house, and the house fell down and killed all of your children. Can you imagine hearing any news like this? And Job fell down on his face to the ground and worshipped. And he said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked I shall return thither. The Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Job did not sin. He did not curse God. So God told Satan, see, he still loves me. Job loves me. And Satan said to God, let me hurt Job's body, and then he will curse you. And God said, behold, he's in your hand, but save his life. Well, shortly after that, Job got sick. He got sick with boils. Boils from the top of his head to the tip of his toe. Boils are great big bumps. Bumps that get sore way, way worse than a pimple. Just huge, huge bumps, and they burn and they hurt and they leak out salve, icky stuff. And Job was so much in pain. It was all over his whole body. And he would sit and scrape the sores. And his wife said to him, "Why don't you just curse God and die?" And Job said, "What? Shall we receive good at the hand of the Lord and not evil?" Job's still trusting the Lord and loving him, isn't he? Well, then Job had 3 friends come visit him. Now, I guess I say the word friend kind of lightly, because these 3 friends came and they thought they were going to help Job. But instead, they were really judging Job. And a lot of the chapters of Job talk about what these 3 friends say to Job. And one of them said, "God's trying to punish you for something. Just ask God to forgive you for your sin." And another one said, "Well, maybe your children sinned and God is angry at their sin and he's punishing you." And Job answered his friends. He says, "Even though God slays me or kills me, yet I will trust him. For I know that my Redeemer liveth, and he shall stand at the latter day upon the earth. After my body is gone, I will see God." Job really loves God and trusts him, doesn't he? And then one of his friends said, "You must be a very wicked man." And Job said, "God knows my life, but he knoweth the way that I take, and when he hath tried me, I shall come forth as gold." Well, God was hearing all this, and he had heard enough. God was pleased with Job because Job realized that God is great and he was small. And God told Job's 3 friends that he was angry with them and they needed to go make an offering for their sins. And he asked Job to pray for his 3 friends. That'd be kind of hard. They were mean to him. They were not helping him. They were sorry they had been such bad friends. And the Bible says when Job prayed for his friends, that's when he got well. There were no more boils, and he was healed. And the Bible says that all of Job's brothers and sisters and friends came to see him after he got well, and they brought him a piece of gold and some money to help him get started again. And Job became rich again. God gave him twice as much as he had before. So Job, the Lord blessed Job, the latter end of Job, more than the beginning. So Job and his wife, they ended up having 10 more children. 3 more daughters and 7 sons. You say, well, how come it's not 20 children? Because the first 10 are up in heaven. They're not lost. But then God gave them, remember last time they had 7,000 sheep? Well, now they have 14,000 sheep. And then they had 3,000 camels. Well, now they have, can you figure it out? 6,000 camels. And they had 500 yoke of oxen. And now, did you double that one? They have 1,000 yoke of oxen. And then they had donkeys. Remember? 500 donkeys. And now they have 1,000 donkeys. And Job was rich again, even more. Wow. Job had remained faithful to God, even when everything went bad. God rewarded Job for his faithfulness. You know, we got to remember to do the things that Job did when we go through trials. Job knew that everything happened to him was given to him by God, and he trusted God. Remember, he loved God. Romans 8:28 says, and we know that all things work together for good, to them that love God, to them that are the called according to his purpose. Just as Job's trials made him better, we can come out stronger and better Christians after our trials if we'll trust God through it all. James 1:2 says, my brethren, count it all joy when you fall into divers temptations, many trials, knowing this, that the trying of your faith worketh patience. Every problem can teach us something and make us more like Christ, and we can learn to depend on the Lord in our trials. Lord, help me to remember I am weak, but you are strong. I cannot sing apart from you, for Lord, you are my song. Although I'm prone to wander and boast in all I do, Lord, keep my eyes turned upward, so I depend on you. Lord, I need you. When the sea of life is calm, oh Lord, I need you. When the wind is blowing strong, whether trials come or cease, keep me always on my knees. Lord, I need you. Lord, I need you. Let's trust the Lord and love him, even if we have trials.